Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. This is final part of our story. I went to the airport. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, I highly recommend watching them first because this story continues from where we left off. Now, let's continue. The police officer looked at us. Both of you need to come with us, right now. Neither Maya nor I said a single word. We quietly followed the officers into a private security room inside the shopping mall. The room was small, quiet, and brightly lit. A security camera was fixed on one wall. There was only one table and 4 chairs. The officer carefully placed the black envelope on the table. Everyone's eyes were fixed on it. My heart was beating so fast that I could hear it. Another officer entered the room carrying a laptop. "We're ready," he said. The first officer slowly opened the envelope. Inside was a single folded paper. Nothing else. No money. No photographs. Only one letter. He unfolded it very carefully. The room became completely silent. The officer read the letter without saying a word. His face slowly became serious. Very serious. Maya looked frightened. "What does it say?" she asked. The officer looked directly at her. "First, I need to ask you something." Maya nodded. "Do you know someone named Daniel Brooks?" The moment she heard that name, her face turned pale. She slowly looked down. "Yes. He is my ex-boyfriend." The officer exchanged a quick look with his partner. "I thought so." I looked at Maya in surprise. "You never told me his full name." She took a deep breath. I didn't want to talk about him anymore. The officer placed another file on the table. Inside were several printed photographs. He spread them across the table. My eyes became wide. Every photo showed Maya. One photo showed her leaving work. Another showed her drinking coffee. Another showed her walking through a park. There were even photos of her buying groceries. Some pictures looked like they had been taken from far away. Others were taken very close. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. "Who took these?" I asked. The officer answered calmly. "The man in the black cap." Maya covered her mouth. "Oh my goodness." The officer nodded. "He has been following you for almost 3 weeks." My body felt cold. "For 3 weeks?" "Yes." "He took more than 100 photographs." Maya's eyes filled with tears. "I never noticed him." "That is exactly what trained investigators do," the officer explained. "They stay invisible." I frowned. "So, he really is a private investigator?" "Yes." "We questioned him before he escaped. He admitted that someone hired him." The room became silent again. "Who hired him?" I asked. The officer looked at Maya. "We believe it was Daniel." Maya slowly closed her eyes. "I knew he wouldn't let me go." The officer continued. "Daniel paid the investigator to watch your daily routine. He wanted to know where you worked, where you lived, who your friends were, and where you spent your free time." I looked at Maya. "Why didn't you tell me he was dangerous?" She wiped away a tear. "Because after we broke up, he apologized. He promised to leave me alone. I believed him." The officer gently shook his head. "Unfortunately, Some people don't know how to accept rejection. He then picked up the letter again. There is something else. He handed the paper to Maya. She looked at it for a few seconds. Her hands started shaking. I looked over her shoulder. The message was short. Only one sentence. You belong with me. Nothing else. No signature. No explanation. Just those 4 words. Maya immediately started crying. I knew it. I knew it was him. I put my hand on her shoulder. It's over now. The police are here. Before anyone could speak again, the office door suddenly opened. Another officer hurried inside. Sir. The first officer stood up immediately. What happened? We've just received new information. Someone tried to enter Maya's apartment less than 1 hour ago. Everyone froze. What? The building's security camera recorded a man wearing a black hoodie. He left before the police arrived. My heartbeat became faster again. Was it Daniel? We're not sure yet. But we're checking the footage now. Maya looked terrified. He knows where I live. The officer nodded seriously. Yes. Which is why you cannot go home tonight. Maya looked at me. Then she quietly asked, On it. Can I stay with you and your family? I smiled without thinking. Of course. You don't even have to ask. For the first time since all of this started, a small smile appeared on Maya's face. But deep inside, both of us knew the nightmare wasn't over yet. Because somewhere outside, someone was still watching, and the police had no idea where Daniel was. Maya looked at me, then she quietly asked, Anna, I stay with you and your family. I smiled without thinking. Of course. You don't even have to ask. The first time since all of this started, a small smile appeared on Maya's face, but deep inside, both of us knew the nightmare wasn't over yet, because somewhere outside, someone was still watching. And the police still hadn't found Daniel. About 30 minutes later, 2 police officers drove us to my house. The streets were quiet. The rain had finally stopped, but the silence made everything feel even stranger. When we arrived, my mother opened the front door. She looked worried the moment she saw our faces. Anna, what happened? I hugged her tightly. It has been a very long day. Police officers briefly explained the situation. My mother immediately looked at Maya. You are welcome here for as long as you need. Maya smiled with tears in her eyes. Thank you. I don't know how to repay your kindness. You don't have to, my mother replied. Right now, the only important thing is your safety. That evening, we all had dinner together. Nobody talked very much. Everyone was tired. Around 10 o'clock, Maya and I went upstairs. As we were about to sleep, my phone suddenly rang. It was the police officer. I answered immediately. Hello, Anna, this is Officer Miller. Have some news. What happened? We found the private investigator. My heart skipped a beat. He tell you anything? Yes. Admitted that someone hired him. It Daniel. Yes. There is no doubt anymore. Officer continued. He has been following Maya for almost a month. Took hundreds of pictures. He wrote down where she worked, what time she left home, she met, where she usually spent her weekends. I looked at Maya. She looked terrified. Why would Daniel do something like this? The officer answered quietly. He never accepted the end of the relationship. Believed Maya would come back to him. When she didn't, became obsessed. The room became silent. Then the officer said something that made my heart stop. We also discovered that Daniel planned to meet Maya at the airport yesterday. What? Yes, knew she would be there, because you arrived. His plan failed. Maya slowly covered her face with her hands. If Anna hadn't come, I don't even want to imagine what could have happened. I held her hand. Safe now. The next morning we woke up early. None of us had slept well while we were eating breakfast. The doorbell rang. Everyone froze. The police officer standing outside carefully opened the door. A young officer smiled. "Good morning." "I have good news." Everyone stood up. "We arrested Daniel early this morning." Maya couldn't believe it. "You found him?" "Yes, he was trying to leave the city." Another police team stopped his car. "Has been taken into custody." For a few seconds, nobody said anything. Then Maya started crying. These were different tears, not tears of fear, but tears of relief. "It's finally over," she whispered. The officer nodded. "Yes, won't be following you anymore." A few weeks later, Maya officially gave her statement to the police. The private investigator also testified. The security cameras from the airport and the shopping mall confirmed everything. The evidence was clear. Daniel was charged with stalking, harassment, and making threats. The court also issued a permanent protection order. He was forbidden from contacting Maya ever again. Life slowly returned to normal. One sunny afternoon, Maya and I decided to visit a small coffee shop. We laughed for the first time in weeks while we were talking. Someone called my name. "Anna." I turned around. It was Sarah, the young woman I had met at the airport on the very first day. She smiled brightly. "I finally found you," I laughed. "Sarah, it's so nice to see you again." She sat down with us. "I met my father that same evening. Everything worked out. Now I've moved to this city." "Really?" Maya asked. Sarah nodded. "Yes. I was hoping we could become friends." "Love that," I said with a smile. The three of us spent the afternoon talking and laughing together. As I walked home later that day, I thought about everything that had happened. I had gone to the airport to help my best friend. I expected an ordinary day. Instead, I discovered courage. I protected someone I cared about. I met a new friend. And I learned that even during the darkest moments, kindness and bravery can change someone's life, sometimes. One phone call, one decision, or one act of courage can change your future forever. Thank you for listening. See you in the next video. Take care.